Okay guys, I got something I want to share with you as far as stuff I like to use. What I'm doing today is I'm doing some splicing, 3-strand rope splicing, and I've got the core of the rope broken apart up to where you want it. And you kind of want to figure out how big your loop's going to be and then to it, but basically how I like to do it is I kind of like to have the rope set out like a 3-prong like this, so when you lay it over the rope, it's a prong, like so. So there's two underneath and one on top, and it's very easy to do. You'll see once we get into it. But I broke it apart. Sometimes it helps to put a little bit of tape right here. I'll just do it for you just to show you what I mean. That way the braids stay where they want, but it all really depends on the kind of 3-strand rope that you get. Look for a real hard lay. The soft lays do not splice well, they shear out, but this is some pretty good stuff here, and this will actually help it keep it in check for the most part, and it's a decent wear point, I guess you'd call it. So this is going to be a pretty tight one because I'm making a chainsaw lanyard right now, and this stuff is pretty stiff, which I like it because it doesn't fall into the chain. Some of the loose stuff will. But that's that, and I tape the ends so everything's real neat and clean, and a good length of line. You know, it doesn't hurt to make it any longer. But I see what I'm saying about the claw. See, there's two bottom portions and one coming out. That way when you lay this over the rope like so, tight as you can get it, you've got 2 strands laying on either side and one on top. And there's no confusion with that. I always start with my top one and work my way around. So you just go under and over and under, over, under. And I'll show you. I'm going to put my fit in here and get this one spliced somewhat just to get it started to explain to you how. But just stick on this one here. It's pretty easy stuff. It's really easy. Setting it up is just key. This will keep it all together, and yeah, I'll show you how to pop the fit in there. Okay guys, here we're back. Basically what I've got my 2 sides like so, and this is not going to be a super pretty splice. It's for holding the chainsaw, so there's not a lot of weight bearing on it. I've got a couple other slings I made for lowering where I get really technical in it and form the lays in really good, but this is pretty minimal for the most part weight issue anyways. But here's what I've got. I've got this first strand. I'm going to stick it through here. Just stick your fid. This is a fid. You can buy them pretty cheap. Stick it through like so. And I like to bring it right up to there so it's nice and high. And I just stick the taped end right through that top one, and it'll fire it right out. Okay? Pull it right through here. And what you do when you pull these through, you want to pull them tight. Pull them tight. That'll help you with a good splice. You know? So you got that one pulled good and tight, and then all you do is I'm going to work my way around. Okay, see, here is my next. I hope you guys can see this all right. I don't have the best of light in here, but I'm going to try to get you right in tight on. Okay, here's what I got. This is the one that I pulled through the strand. Straight out there, and once you get started, it's really easy. It's just over, under, over, under. Okay, here's the next one. We're going to stick it right in here, the next lay, right underneath. And push it through the fid. You can sometimes, if it's a tough one or thick line, you can actually grab this with the fid and pull it through, but I like to keep it open so that way the strands don't unravel midway through. When you get tighter, sometimes it can do that. But like I said, this is not a fantastic one, but I'm going to show you how to kind of get started here. Okay, so I got my first 2 like so, and since I've got the saw in there, I've got to keep flipping it. And then basically what I've got here is my last one. Okay, now pay attention here what you see. See, here's my strand, 1 strand, so I'm going to go over and then under. This is the one I want, and you're going to see it's going to bypass this one. And when it's sticking out of the rope, it should be 3 different sides of the strand pretty much. But yeah, here we go with this. This is the one. Stick that through like we did, right in there. Right through the fid, and we want to pull them tight when you do this. So you're getting started now. Here. And they will twist and turn a little bit, but like I said, you got to pull them tight every time to get them little things out of it. That helps, what I'm doing right there, to get them out of there. Okay, so pretty much, and this will help you tighten that splice, is by pulling, taking your hand and pulling on that. I got to get you guys up here. All right. But yeah, pretty easy stuff. I mean, this is great for anybody. People, sportsmen, you know, tree guys, everybody should know how to use 3-strand rope pretty much. But you see how it's coming out of 3 sides? And now all I do, and you know what it really helps when you're learning, is using 3 different colors of tape. Because you know, like if you had red, blue, green, start with your red and just work your way around. But I know this is my top one, obviously, so I'm going to come back to my top one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, I'm sticking out here. I'm going to go over this one right here. Over this lay and under this one, okay? So watch how I do this one. So we're going to go over, under. And you don't need a whole bunch. I do 3 just because if I did one more, it would hold this saw just fine. But it's just conducive to what you're using it for. So I'm going to stick the fid through there. You see how the fid just makes an opening for that? Grab my line and I'm going to stick this through and pull it. Pull it tight. And sometimes it helps when you pull it tight if you grab the fid and the line and pull all of it out like in one shot, like that. And then just repeat. You're just going to keep going around and around. Okay, so pretty much that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here again, do the same thing, go over and under. So this is pretty easy so far here. Pretty easy stuff. Like that, and they become more distinctive once you get into it. You'll see them popping out. So that's how that one works. So it's really simple stuff, guys. I mean, it's worth having around. And what you'll find is when you get into these, this is kind of where it gets tricky sometimes for beginners. When the lays start to get soft, see, this is a lay that we put in here, and this is also a lay we put in. So what you want to do is be real careful when you're poking, because you can actually poke through that lay, because these can untwine if you have a real soft lay rope. So right here, here's the one I'm using right here. We're going to go over and then under right here. This is a dirty rope, so it's actually easy to tell with the white from the old. But here you got to keep track of this. So I'm just going to put my thumb right there and just try not to get any fibers out of there. But that's why it's so important to use hard lay rope, because soft lay you can get a big mess. But and sometimes when you're going through it, it doesn't hurt to twist it and keep it tight. But go right through this. And like I said, this would really be enough to hold this saw. For what I'm doing is just hanging on my saddle. And this is probably all I'm going to do really for this one, so it doesn't interfere. But I'm pulling those lays as I go. And I'll just pull the fit out. And I'll stop every once in a while, pull them nice and snug, good clean splice. You know, it doesn't hang up on nothing, but you know, that's not going anywhere. I can guarantee you that. And the splice retains, I think it's 90% of the knot, I guess if you will, whereas the actual real knot only retains 60%. So keep that in mind with little things, and they're much more streamlined too. But I hope that okay guys, here's one more thing how I finish off my splice. So I did about 3 rotations in there, you can kind of see, but when I'm done, I'll pull each individual one just to make sure it's good and snug. You don't want anything sticking out or loose in the lay, and you just want to pull each one tight just to make sure they're all set well. And you'd even give her a yank on here. I mean, that's just to make double sure. But you see, I didn't need all this, but it's nice to have enough to work with. So okay, basically what I'm doing with this one here, like these ones here, what I'll actually do is I will tape the ends. If I'm rigging to make sure nothing comes through, I will tape the ends first and then burn them real hard. And when I get them real hot, I'll take the back of the lighter and I'll just mash it like so. You see that? It's mashed like that. It's real rough and coarse, like if you bow hunters know how to do a string loop, a D loop. That's basically how I do them. And but this one here, I'm probably just going to burn. The electrical tape wears off, so just a regular burn will usually hold up just for a saw lanyard. But if I'm using my rigging stuff, I like to burn them, tape them, and secure that so it's not come through. And I'll do a little bit of wrapping around here just for wear, but that's what I do on my ones I'm rigging with. You know, the only weight this is holding is the saw, so I'm not going to tape these ones. But that's the other side. You can make them a little long, it's not going to hurt nothing, but they're super stiff. This saw blade burns up real hard. But just hold the lighter right to it, like so, get it warmed up, and then mash it with the lighter. Mash it with the lighter, it'll flatten it. And tape it first. You can leave a little bit of a puff out, and that puff will singe down. But that's a good technique for that. But and as far as cutting them, I like these Havalon Havalon knives. They're really cheap. They're a razor knife, so they work really good. And when the blades wear out, just pop them off. I do a lot of hunting, so I use that for caping and this and that. But it's a good all-around knife for anything, cutting stuff out of paper, real exact cuts, you know, and especially cutting rope. They work really good, and they're about 35 bucks. It's worth checking out. Havalon knives, and they come with like 12 replaceable blades too, so that's a big selling point, you know. So all I'm going to do is I'll leave a little bit of tail out. It ain't hurting nothing, like so. I'll just get on it with the lighter and burn it up. You can probably see how it's singeing up real tight, like so. And don't be afraid to burn that thing, it ain't gonna hurt it. Turning black like that, see that? And it'll actually start on fire. Let it burn a little bit. Stop it. Boom, did you hear that? That singe. And flatten that with the lighter. Flatten it with the lighter right there. And it'll stick to it, but you just rip it off, it ain't nothing. But this is a lightweight scenario. I'm not going to do much dressing on this because this will never unravel. I mean, those are hard as rocks, those right there. So just terminate them so they're not fuzzing up on you. And you might have to do a little bit of burning around the ends, you know, just to tighten it up. And it'll tighten itself up. But that's pretty much it as far as that goes. And I just repeat, same thing with the other ones. Twist. Okay guys, here's one more thing for you, how I connect them. It's hot. So I got everything done. Snap is all on, spliced on, and just a regular locking snap. So say I'm hooking it up to my side D. This is what I do with mine. Take like a HMS style carabiner, like this, and little piece of rubber works good if you can keep it in there. But a lot of times what I'll do is this splice right here, this will keep this beaner right underneath on the bottom side. You don't want it on the top, you want it on the bottom side. Okay, look at here. Stick this HMS beaner just like so, like that, and that splice will keep that. Splice will keep that beaner in the bottom side 9 times out of 10. You can see that? See how I'm moving that? That splice will keep that in there. It's not moving. It's not going up at all. So that'll keep that. I'm even hitting it. Look at it. Hitting it. And it's just turning side to side, but it won't let it get up. That splice stays above the beaner. So when I got my carrot tool or whatever, I can clip it on one hand. And what happens is just the weight of it like that, when you turn the saw down, no matter what, you can literally just throw it over your side and hook it in. So, and it hooks it up real tight. A lot of them have them little loops up here. I don't like that because you've got to, it's not one hand, one off. You've got to either take your hand like this and go turning, or throw it up in the air, grab it, hook it in, and it's still hanging low. And this thing is hanging up right, boom, right on your side, just like that. So that's my chainsaw lanyard setup. 3-strand rope, basic brass snap on a steel 200T, best climbing saw there is in my opinion. I've got 3 other 201s, 192s. I got rid of them a long time ago. These have been my go-to. I got one with a 16-inch bar and one with a 14-inch bar, and I like them. There's a lot of power, and they sit really well in the hand, and yeah, I've been happy with them, and I'll just keep, you know, use them until I can't use them anymore, I guess. But that's my setup. Nice beaner behind the splice, and the splice will keep that HMS beaner. And I use these just old ones I get with my lanyards, or I shouldn't say old. You get these free with them Climb Right lanyards, and I don't like these Climb Right beaners. They've always seemed flimsy and kind of junky to me. I'll put a good Petzl AMD or something on my lanyard cam, you know, for my wire core. So I'll just, when I get a new lanyard, I keep these for, you know, not life support. You can, but I'm just, I don't know, you just feel them. You can't feel nothing good to them. So that's about it. This is the last portion here. I just wanted to show you how I hook that up, and I hope you guys enjoy the video, and maybe you guys can use this to your benefit sometime in the future. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.